everybody, it's me, Tracy, and I wanted to pop on really quick. It is a few days later since I last took my teacher's training exam. And so I wanted to come on because I have been documenting the days or whatever, before I took the test, after I took the test. And I told you guys I was going to come back on and tell you what my results were going to be after I met with my master trainer. So today was the day that I got the results. And OMG, y'all. So let me tell you, the areas that I thought that I was going to pass, which was actually going to be the written, I really believed that I was going to pass the written part of the exam. And did not pass. Part of the written exam was you had to know the entire order of the mat work, and the reformer order. Intermediate 2, you had to know that order by heart, and that was not open book. I got everything right on the order of my mat work, 1 through 34, except for I left out one exercise, and that was shoulder bridge. So even though on my paper I had numbered 1 through 34, if I had 1 through 35, I probably would have recognized that something was missing, which would have caused me to go back through the entire order. But because I only had 1 through 34, and I don't even know why, even in my own private studying, I didn't pick up on it or catch it. Maybe because I don't think I was actually numbering for all of my own practice tests. Sometimes I would just write out all of the exercises. Well, on the day of the test, I actually numbered everything, and I only numbered it 1 through 34. Had I put 35, I would have noticed what was missing. And what was missing was exercise the shoulder bridge. OMG. So I missed that on the test. Shoulder bridge was not on my test. I didn't put it on. And so therefore, because that one exercise was missing, I failed that part of the test because that's either a pass or a fail. And so I'm like, oh my God, because thigh stretch is actually not an original exercise in the mat work. So that was added. But yeah, you guys, so I'm like, dang. But anyway, so I got to retake that portion. I also did not list in the stomach massage series on the reformer order. I did not list out all of the exercises. I only basically, just put stomach massage series, where what she was looking for was that, okay, what does the stomach massage series include? So I didn't pick, write down that, okay, the first part is going to be a rounded reach. The second part is going to be arms behind you and your chest is going to be up. I didn't put all of those exercises. I just put the stomach massage series. And so therefore, ding, I did not get that right. I also missed the section because I always get this confused. Dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. I missed that one. Dorsiflexion is always, your feet are going to be flexed. Plantar flexion is point. So I won't forget that the next time. Hello? But anyway, so I got that wrong on the test as well. So it was just a few things that I got wrong on the written that, I will have to redo that test. So so I'm going to take that probably, next week. I will take the written portion again next Thursday. So so let's go on with the rest of the test. So the other part of the test was the teaching. I had to do the teaching portion, and the teaching portion was set into 2 parts. So part 1 is me actually teaching a mat and reformer workout routine with the person. And so that routine has to be 45 minutes. So I did my exercise, I taught that. And the second part of that portion of the exam is where you actually inform your master teacher what you saw in the person's body while they were performing the different exercises that you were teaching. And then you have to demonstrate a proficiency in the fact that once you see something, like say their pelvis is moving around, how would you help them, on other pieces of equipment to help them to stabilize their pelvis? Or if they were having trouble with, staying tall in their tall back, how would you help them to, get in their tall back and get the feedback in other places? So that you have to demonstrate a proficiency, which means that you have to really understand the exercises, what muscles are being worked, and how you can help those people, on other pieces of apparatus. So that was also on the exam. I passed both those portions. Thank God, hallelujah. Because y'all, I was so nervous on that part, because that is, I would say, probably not really my strong suit. But because it takes a lot of critical thinking, and you really have to really look at a person's body and see, like, okay, what's happening in that body. So that was part of the test that I kind of was like nervous that I wasn't going to pass, but I did pass that portion. So that part done. So yeah, then the third part of the test was actually when we test, she tells us to do like exercises on different pieces of equipment. So I had to demonstrate me doing side kneeling on the Cadillac. And she's looking for how you do the exercise, if you're doing it correctly, if the spring, is on or not, or how many springs you're supposed to have. In that case, it was just the one spring, because I was on the Cadillac. So, how the spring is loaded, all that kind of thing, safety issues, those types of things are also, those are things that they're looking for. And, yeah. At first, when I first started doing the exercise, you guys, I did do the exercise partially kind of incorrect, because I had my spring diagonal. And when I was like going like this, I'm like, and then I'm like this, I'm like, why does it feel weird, right? Then I realized, I looked at the spring, I was like, oh, my spring's wrong. So I made that correction on my own, thank God. Otherwise, I probably would have got dinged for that. And then I had to do side splits on the reformer. And she only wanted the 2 variations with me doing saw in those side splits. So I did do that. And so that was fine. And then, y'all, she asked me to do the helicopter. Helicopter is not in my practice. That was not something that I actually practiced in my own time. I basically only learned helicopter the day that we did our intensive, and then I didn't practice it anymore after that. It's like not really my favorite exercise. We did it on the spine corrector. And so when she said, oh, I want you to do helicopter, I was like, oh my God. How do I do helicopter again? That's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm like, how do I do helicopter again? Wait, what is helicopter? Oh my God, I don't even remember how my legs are supposed to be. So I'm just like all over the place in my brain, right? But I'm like, okay, I pull out the spine corrector and I get on. I wish I could have had that videoed for you guys, because I probably look so doggone crazy trying to demonstrate helicopter when I did not have a clue about what I was doing. So I literally was laying on the spine corrector, right? And my legs are like in the air, and then I just do this with my legs. And then I just go like this with my legs. But I'm going like really slow, right? It's obvious that I don't know the exercise. And I'm pretty sure that just looked funny as hell. Because if I had been a master teacher watching somebody, I probably would have bust out laughing. Because y'all, when I was in my own reflection time after this whole test was over, I literally was cracking up, because I'm just like, my God, I wish I could have saw how that looked. Because I'm sure it was like super hilarious, right? So finally my instructor's like, okay, it's obvious that you don't know how to do the exercise. Let me help you. So she begins to like show me how my legs are supposed to be doing. And so yeah. So that part of the exam I did not pass because I did not demonstrate the proficiency. I messed up on helicopter, and then there was another exercise that I got confused on the wounded chair. And so those two exercises I have to practice. And so that part of the test, the written and half of the portion of the practical part where I'm actually demonstrating the exercises, me doing them, I will have to retake. So yeah, that's the true story, y'all. You know, did you know that it is uncommon for people to pass their test outs the first go round? Sometimes you have to retake them. It's actually uncommon when people like pass the first time. It's more common that a lot of times people have to retake their tests. And if that happens to you, don't get discouraged. Don't be all sad and crying or whatever. Know that it's okay and that you get a second chance to take the test over. You know, it's just a learning experience, and you know what you need to sharpen. And it teaches you things that's just going to make you that much more of a stronger teacher. And so, yeah. So that's how my test out went, you guys. I'm going to be retaking my test, and I chose to take the practical part where I'm actually demonstrating the exercises. I'm going to take that probably like next month. And my reasoning for that is just because I wanted to really have time to really get it into my body practicing it, so that I can do it with as much precision as possible, for where I am in my practice when I do retake that portion of the test over. So yeah, so that is how I did on my teacher's training test out. I will have to retake the written and a portion of the I would call it the application part of the test. But as far as like the teaching, part 1 and 2 of the teaching, I passed that, so I'm fine there. So yeah, you guys. Okay, well, I hope that you have enjoyed this content. Feel free to comment below with any questions. And yeah, so thank you so much for following me on my channel. Those of you that have been here like a while, thank you so much for hanging in there, because I know that I could be all over the place with my content. You know, most of the time my content is about hair. And then there are other times where I have these other mixes of videos that are just kind of random, whether I'm talking about Pilates or something else, right? I mean, when my channel first started, I was talking about hair and menstrual cups. And now I don't even talk about the menstrual cups because I'm in a different stage in my life. I'm going through the perimenopause, menopause. And so I don't wear menstrual cups anymore. I probably should do a goodbye video. And show you guys my cup collection that I still have, and you know what I ended up retiring with, what cup I ended up retiring. I think that'd be kind of neat. Post below if you might be interested in that content, you know, and let me know what you think. But anyway, so yeah, and if you are new here, thank you so much for watching this video, and have a look around. And if you think that you know that you might like some of the things that I talk about, feel free to subscribe. I love to have you. So welcome in advance. And thank you guys for all of you guys that just have been with me through and through. And so that's all I got for you guys today. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you on the next one. Peace through fingers. Bye.